Good morning, good morning, good morning. A little after 8 right now. Starting a little bit late. Sorry about that. Gonna be kicking this live show here. Yesterday, if anyone did catch it, I think my audio was off the whole time, so I kicked it. I didn't get audio on the editing, and I think I had my audio was not on, I think, during the course of the whole shenanigans. So, wop wop. Dumb. So what I got going on here is I'm going to be running with yesterday's show topic, which was we were discussing cities and sorry, here, let me take a look. This was not yesterday's topic. But I know I missed it, so this is going to be today's topic. So right now I'm going to start off by saying my name's Dan. I'm the futurist who talks about the future. Some of my main discussions and topics that I tend to get to is very, oh, that's why it's not popping up, because it's underneath this shenanigans. Come on now. Come on now. Be nice to me. Okay, so there it is. So this was what I had my, okay. Yeah, these are the topics right here of my usual discussion. So right now, how can our future cities be one with our growing world? Yeah, I'm not good at making those super jumpy titles yet. I'll get there so I can find that perfect edge along with exactly what I'm trying to say so I can make sure everyone wants to watch this. But as of now, I am going to be saying we're talking about on my channel. I want to make it very clear. I want to have good fun discussion about the ideas of our future. It's not that I'm tired of talking about the present all the time. It's just I keep noticing it tends to get people very agitated. And I can see why it would. Things are very tense. Things are very active right now. Things are very bubbling onto the surface. But at the same time, I also think to myself, what's the future going to bring then? I always hear people talking and talking, and I go, so what's the solution? I'm just a solutionist. It tends to be my downfall. A lot of people tend to get, they just kind of want to talk, and I'm supposed to be there to listen. I tend to want to solve. So solving requires future actions. And with that, like I said, to my downfall in certain areas of relationships with others, where I tend to want to solve a problem, some people just want to, like I said, just have a conversation and talk and be open and vent a little. I tend to want to just solve the problem. Oh, you have this? Well, why don't you do that? But like I said, that tends to be a futurist way of thinking. And right now, I'm noticing a lot of people are on the right here and now, and I'm thinking, so what's the solution? I don't like this. I don't like that. I don't like this. I don't like that. Okay, I can care less what you don't like. What are your solutions to problems that you see around you? Your personal preference of what you do and don't like, what's that going to do for me? I can't do nothing about that. What are we going to do to solve it? So if you can come up to me and say, don't you think this is unique, and if we were to do this, it would make things a little better, I may look at it and go, huh, interesting. I don't need to know that you don't like this for you to show me that there is a better way to do things. So tell me solutions. I think people should be talking solution-based more than they should be talking about what they don't like, because that's very opinionated. Solutions toward opinions tend to generalize things because you have to think, what can our society do to change said problem? And when you really end up thinking about it, you end up thinking, well, what what's a realistic solution. And when you look for realistic solutions, you tend to find that realistic solutions take time, effort, and humanity, and that's a tough. Those are all tough things to be obtained and acquired. I think in a futurist sense, I'm gonna say I get the fact that there's things happening right now. I see everyone talking. What I want to do is then turn to something and say, how can how can how can we now utilize what we don't like, find this, and then start looking for solutions in a general form that could actually change either into a new societal form or structure, and or find out it tends to be some people glom on to social structures that already exist, and maybe it's just the traditional aspect of certain things that needs to be feeling like the past made sense enough to drive our future, because then the people who get pushed backward in society, people who get retired, they're going to look back and go, so you're telling me everything I did was useless? And that's very tough for anyone to say, because I hear a lot of people saying, oh, this, that, and the other thing. They use the B word, the boomer word, to say something. But once again, everyone has to realize all those people worked very hard to build the wonderful society you have. Even though it may not fit every category you want, it's still going to be one of those things where you're going to have to say thanks for at least giving, because if you look all over the world, there are different places. Look at the worst, the one that you would consider the worst, and say, thank God we're not this, or thank whatever, thank our family, thank our ancestors for at least we're not this. And then look over to where we have severely done things in a damaging or wrong way and say, and we can be doing it better than that, the way we once were or are or whatever. But those all, once again, take futurist thinking. What are we going to do as a society? Can we keep multiple groups in one thing? So let me see. I'm trying to think. Do I want to look up cities like I did yesterday? Because yesterday I actually did this, and I looked up cities, and I thought, did I go anywhere with this? Because I've already done this before. I'm wondering if I should just go straight, because I'm like, more than anything right now, I'm thinking building a city is neat, because we could build the city. That's fine. But really, it's not so much building a city as it is like this. Okay, this was a map I saw. This is Houston. Yo. So this is just a city map of Houston. From overview, I think it's like a NASA image or something like that, a NASA-ish image or someone, I don't know, something that I just looked at and I thought this is a really neat viewing of what we do as a people. We spread ourselves out and we just keep kind of trickling out. And I was kind of yesterday making reference to it as paint and stuff like that, and acid, kind of how things etch. We etch ourselves into this planet instead of realizing we're kind of leaving a burnt mark. So now we got to tighten up that burnt mark, re-heal the area around, and then just kind of get ourselves to tighten up. And I always make reference to it of being like we're on a body. This is a body. This world is a body. And within it, we have certain things that need to function properly to keep this body working properly. And in our body, we have organs. Well, can we help the process of this system around us through our cities? So can our cities now tighten up, become more like I said, I made a reference to it in the past, where if you've ever seen the movie The Matrix, there's a character called Neo. Actually, all the characters that are plugged into the system, supposedly, They're inside these jelly-filled tubes, people inside of it. And inside the jelly-filled tubes, people are plugged into this thing. So that way, anything that their mind thinks, their body will essentially feel to the point where it makes it very realistic. So that inside of this jelly-filled world of being asleep, essentially, but being in a dream world, they get to experience what would essentially feel like life. And when they finally do get out, he takes all the plugs out, and he has these ports that are all over him, and they have the port that's in the back of their neck. But it it would appear that they got it to where the machines essentially got it to where they were able to have their entities within our living entity in a way that was, for the most part, harmonious to grow us the way they wanted. But we're on this earth, so we are kind of in the situation of being kind of like the machine on the characters. So we are the machine. We are the ones making sure that we are not spreading around and turning into infection and cancer. We want to keep ourselves small and tight and healed and working within the system. I know it's a weird reference, but it actually does work when you really think about it, because we're trying to become on our planet. We don't want to get rejected and booted off in a way where the planet just rejects, and things can happen, I think, on the planet. That I'm not saying the planet's a living entity. Could be, I don't know. But, I mean, what is a living entity? If this thing has enough time and sentience, I don't know what wouldn't classify our world itself as almost being a living entity, which means we would be like the enzymes in our body, like the bacteria in our body. We are within this framework of being a part of the world. So right now I'm saying we need to retighten up our cities, retighten up our government ideas, realize that there are so many people, and so many people now have the ability to small factions can now be large ones, and the fact that what would have only been a few people before can now socialize in a way that's a lot larger, to find out there's a lot more of them, so they can all glom together in a social setting via the internet or anything. So much so that there is a reason why they glom together. There's a reason what that faction of people is, no matter what they are. So within that, where can people fit on this world in a way that will actually allow for true functioning? There are things that need to destroy things. There are things that need to create things. There are things that need to happen in our body alone to keep us healthy. I mean, all the natural things have these very unique pulses and rhythms that need to happen. We need to join that cycle instead of just being a continuous spread. So we're like the creeping death of our world if we don't realize how to bring ourselves together, tighten ourselves up, create a situation where we can still grow and flourish within there, but we don't ooze ourselves out. We're not a contagion. We are a smart entity that now needs to realize we have bacteria. We consider it to be what? Not smart? Stupid? But it's doing a more correct process of living within us and other things than we can do. Granted, there are bacteria, once again, that can infect us in such a way that will then cause us to get sick and die. So once again, there are unique ways to put all this in a system and say, really, I think as a future idea, a futurist that I conceive, is I've been redesigning cities that I think can have some sort of sustainability. So you see this as just kind of a spread out. I kind of have things in a clockworking fashion where they do kind of move proper. And we have to realize this. We have been, for the better sake of terms, progressing as a society. And when we progress as a society, we do start to form stuff in a way that if we just keep taking and piling sand straight into the middle, it doesn't want to do anything more than you're just kind of just sloshing sand around. But if you want to create something, you put a little bit of water, you create towers. I've seen people do these amazing sand structures that all it takes, and you can make structure build on structure if you actually put just a little bit of time, a little bit of effort. Right now we're at that point where we do have time and effort. And we have the ability to have enough people put their focus on something and get it done. So that's why I do want to get people coming this direction a little bit more. I'm going to keep these short and sweet. Today I was just kind of starting on the topics of what it's going to take to start bringing a city together. What it's going to take. Like, I'm looking at it like a human body. There's organs in the body, and in the organs there are cells. We are all like cells, and cells are all kind of, to a degree, the same, but there are liver cells versus kidney cells. So people are different. And within a healthy body, those cells are different but working together. So in a healthy system, so we're going to take a healthy body, the person of immaculately good health, we're going to take that body to realize it is doable and obtainable. To say in a healthy body, there are different cells for different organs, all under one skin sac person, to work together in a way that creates the most optimum living conditions. So we can do this. We can generate these type of things. We can have a society that realizes you don't have to be a patapata for us to be in this society together. But I am going to say, there are probably going to be locations where people of certain kinds of, like, let's say there's going to be a more farming area. You're probably going to have this kind of personality, so much so that you can say that person's probably a red, a blue, whatever color the idea wants to be. So a red, a blue, a green, whatever that, all these different things, you can say that's going to be that kind of area because they are this kind of a people. They tend to work more. They tend to not be thinking about these other things. They just want to go home and they don't want to think too much about this. They like their religion. They like their news. They like their sports. They like their this. This is the kind of place this is. And then you can go to other places where it's not going to be like that. You're going to have more theater. You're going to have more arts. And then you're going to have a different form of thought where people are going to be saying la la da da da, and they're going to be thinking about a different way of things. Sports is still maybe there, but it's a different kind of sport usually, I always notice. There tends to be the more combative sports that tend to be one-on-one. I tend to notice a different crowd tends to go toward like boxing and arena fighting and stuff like that versus the people that tend this is not a generalization. Tends to be kind of the pull apart people. There's the sports that are like baseballs and footballs and standardized sports. So there tends to be these different places, and they tend to glom together. And if they glom together, fine. That's not bad. That's where these things just naturally occur. So that's where I'm looking at it right now. Tell me your thoughts on this, anybody. I want everyone to jump on into this thing. Try to jump in. Tell me a good time slot if this is not working out for anybody. I understand most people could be at work right now, but I understand the pandemic, which is why I'm doing it at this time slot. I want to find out the best time slot. So leave a comment if you can below to say what better time slot this would be. Maybe it should be after 5:30, 6ish maybe. I was gonna do that yesterday, but I have a son, so I'm just busy doing things and getting things lined up. So maybe I can do a different time slot with this. Keep me posted. Like, subscribe, hit the notification button if you do like this kind of content. I'm going to be sprucing it up. I want to get myself going with this a little bit better. If people do like something, I'll start attaching myself to that. I'll start throwing things into my 3D software. We'll start growing this stuff for reals and seeing what it's going to actually look like so we as a group can get together. And so I'm kind of waiting to see what a group mindset's going to be. So until then, I'm just going to be kind of broad and general, see where people want to go with this. Keep me posted, like I said. Like, subscribe, hit the notification bell. Thanks, everybody. My name's Dan. I'm the futurist who talks about the future. Yeah. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Do 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 do.